worth of reds basically, and you know, look to whoever the team is trying to ride that tempo wave from the front. And the price of that is you cannot die. As soon as you die, right, all your exotics going in your box can get looted. So whichever team kind of accumulates not only the exotics but also kills on other team with exotics and kind of wields that force into the end game, going to be the team to beat here.
Now we have seen the teams to beat lose. BBC,
yeah,
the roommates, looking so strong. But as you pointed out, the beautiful third, fourth party from Help, which I want to actually go back to that because BBC, I liked where I saw the vision of the attack as Tips out fighting against Vlad. Vlad getting a gold, but going to end up handing it down or handing it over to Tips out. I like the merry-go-round that they're playing, but here comes the shot. Yep, Vlad goes down. But what I was saying, I feel like BBC gave up their great positioning for the sake of getting the kill, which ended up seeing them out in fourth or third. Or was it BBC, or I might be thinking BBL? No, BBC, because BBL took second again that game. So yeah.
Nice double nade. Oh my god, Shogunate. It's just going to be hero instantly. Beautiful double nade from Chefo Brecco, and really tough start there for RMB in game 5. Gonna connect that crowd control twin, and from there, not much you can do.
So RMB was, when we last checked the scores, sitting on the bubble at 6th place. Since then, Help has won, and now RMB is out in last. So they have to be nervous that they're not going to see Saturday, and they have to make a move. As we do have, Squaw running into GPS.
Yeah, so picked up from GPS. GPS, another team that you mentioned, kind of like one you'd expect to be performing really well, and they are performing well in the fights, but their placement not kind of aligning so much with that. And so looking for a higher placement game themselves, but hopefully, like, probably pretty safe still, kind of on that 16 cutoff. But you mentioned RMB really going to need to have a big game 6 to find their way in, especially with that win on the back of Help last game. Going to do a lot to move them up past, into that 6th place spot and beyond.
And I'm just trying to see, because again, Shogunate are the Cold Fang Kings, and they've done it again. They've got their golds, they've got a kill, and now because they know luxury goods, Cold Fang is where you want to be the kings of when it's luxury goods. So let's see what they find in the shop right away, and if they're able to swallow their pride, abandon their traditional builds for the sake of the exotics, because ultimately the exotics are what you want right here. And I like this from Aberko, just kind of playing keep away with Fluffion and allowing Shogunate to maybe make a buy.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to call out for Shogunate here is they're kind of playing into their comp strength really nicely. First of all, it's a nice comp. You got like kind of the Shiv, like pump, carry damage. You got the brawl entry and kind of disruptor, baiting out cooldowns, going in and out, and then you got the Zeph to back them up with the heals. Big crowd control from the nade, as we saw in that Cold Fang fight, as well as the ultimate coming in clutch in the big team fights. Dragon rounds purchased from Ice Alarm. This is a repeat. Wait, Dragon Breath rounds with Masamune here for Ice Alarm, looking massive on the Ghost.
He is going to hit so hard, and your damage reduction means nothing. One ion cannon, one clip from his LMB, and your armor's gone, and you're tanking so much. And this is what we wanted to see. BBC understood the assignment. They're going in, they're buying the reds, and now they're looking at HLP, who, yes, they won last game, but they've still been the main targets of this lobby. And look at that, a third of their armor's chunked in a second.
Yeah, I think they see those exotics, like, we do not want this angle. Like, maybe could have fought it, because if they kill Ice Alarm there, the rest of BBC did not have relics, but they decide to kind of give that up, look for a better angle, and cannot blame them, because very scary looking Ghost there. They are going to have kind of like mana coils themselves with just one member of BBL to the south, but BBC looking to push from the north here.
I missed who it was, but it looks like... Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to say Aluna highlighting Devastation top right. That's what GPS is playing for.
Check this out. BBC actually a little hurt right now. They're still continuing this hunt. On to Help. Beautiful damage coming out from the Crystal right now. And all of a sudden, Hestia, their tank with no armor to his name, but still they have this sustain. But I love this poke we're seeing out of Help.
Yeah, Help really needs to find this Wombo off the back of the Tetra. because otherwise going to be pretty hard to break through this front line. Really beefy comp here from the BBC squad, both with the Kingpin, giving that Ghost a lot of space to operate. And so if you can't find the crowd control combo to delete the Ghost, it's going to be very hard as Pajama Game Lord looking to contest here. Maybe grab on the hatchling, are going to get the slam through, and it is going to go to the side of BBC. So we see now ults online as well. I do not think Help want this, and they realize that as they make their way out.
Oh. What a hook coming in from Pajama Game Lord, double snare, and there comes Grabby the Squid, and Help all of a sudden desperate trying to run away. Atomic without the damage, without the shifts, and BBC, who thrives on the level 7 CC stacking, kidnapped the camp and immediately hit that button to go.
Yeah, you kind of saw them realize that they're like, wait, like we're so much stronger. Let's just murk these guys after they get that creep secure with the ultis, and they are going to get a clean fight through. Going to send Help over to this heart res with the Sky Shark. Looks like Willamander is going to get it pretty free here, but does have squads kind of on multiple sides as well. We do see Dreadstar picked up for Dumbkiss, so 3 exotic relics in play at the moment.
Oh, and what I was going to say earlier was I saw an extra gold on BBL Fluffyon, so I'd assume that they bought that as an exotic in the shop. And I like this from BBC getting that vault because there was gold inside of it. So that's probably 3,000 gold, which should be enough for another exotic item. The rich are getting richer and more powerful.
Yeah, and now these Dragon Breath rounds on tips out as well. Going to be absolutely destroying if they're able to connect those empowered shift shots. We do see GPS over here looking nice. Dreadstar from Dumbkiss is going to get shifted from Dylan. Shift down, though, follows that opportunity with the Dragon Staff Slam. With no shift available, is going to connect. Looking for another here. Ult through with the shift forward, trying to find Chris again. Does have the shift back up. Tonk into the wall from Tadpole. Catches 2 members. But Yalico answers with the shift back. Now fully stacked. Looking for another one, maybe. Is going to opt not to go for the shift angle here. Does it late. Oh, still gets the kill. Wait, no, Yuaiko goes down. Dang.
I think they tried to shift back through and got either swatted or moved and went more up than they intended. So a little greedy there, trying to go back and finish the kill right there. Maybe take the oath with them. But at least the team's not out yet. However, in a lobby of snowballing at avalanche proportions, being down to just 1 remaining member is not where you want to be standing right now.
Yeah, like we were talking about at the beginning, but really tough to play from behind in a luxury goods lobby because these squads that are ahead have sort of amassed the bulk of this exotic power. We see it pretty focused still on kind of BBC and GPS at the moment. But as well, actually, Shogun picked up Dragon Breath this round, so we do have 3 squads with big exotics in play at the moment.
It looks like, is that a Masamune on tips out who almost dashes into Pajama Game Lord? Shogunate on the aggressor. The 2 strongest teams in the lobby are now facing each other down, but Ice Alarm is just trying to chip away at the armor on top of them. Chef Fabreco half armor now. It's only a matter of time. Squid into dunk. The dagger comes out though, and huge double stun onto BBC. BBC was looking so terrifying, now down to just their oath, who is desperately trying to escape. He gets stunned, he is down, and BBC, the Thanoses of the lobby, drop, and Shogunate are eating good tonight.
Man, Shogunate looking so clean. Chef Fabreco, bro, with the nade there. Huge setup for the rest of the show to follow up, find those kills. Multiple members just sitting there cooked in a pile for multiple seconds, just getting hammered on. The Zephs have been showing up massive in this lobby, actually, Twin.
Yeah, that grenade was huge. And not only that, they didn't notice that the dagger was out on Shib. So they got the squid, they got the dunk. And right when the follow-up, the rounds were loading into the shotgun, Shib daggered out. And all of a sudden, they're standing on top of nothing. And that Zeph grenade was massive for them. And Shogunate, I don't see a world where they don't just try to find everybody else in the lobby because they are so strong.
Yeah, so they had armor, they already had Dragon Breath rounds on their Shiv. Now they pick up the Masamune and the other exotic that Ghost had. So now 3 in the chamber for Shogun here. Like actually looking so strong on the kind of like exotic front. Yeah, look at these 2 Dragon Breath rounds and a Masamune.
They go for a second to CC. The jewel damage comes out, but Zeph somehow able to dash out. Huge. We do have the fuselage coming in. And Chefo Brecco, their sustain goes down, but the oath is hurting. The anti-heal is applied before he can heal himself, and it's a 1-for-1 as Iberico continues the hunt.
Dude.
Huge damage coming in onto the jewel, narrowly surviving with single-digit HP, and Dylan with the Save My Friend syndrome is probably going to go down for this. I like the ult, I like the attempt, but unfortunately, you're probably going to go down here to Shogunette. Maybe not.
Enemy Oracle online.
He's going to be able to kite it out, get a little bit of space, so Dylan lives. But right there, you kind of see the Shogun confidence coming into play. The brawl, you know, their Zeph goes down. They know they can still win the 3v2. They know they're so strong. And this is kind of the brawl Shiv mindset you want when you're playing those hunters. You are the hunter, like you kill, you press W, and they do it right there beautifully, keeping the pressure up, forcing the rest of them out of the fight. Now they are going to be able to box recover Zeph. Shogunette back to full force here.
And how terrifying to know that, yes, they are the apex predators of this lobby, and they demonstrated it right there, that you dropped every single bit of damage and CC to barely kill the Zeph, and you still lost that fight. So it's going to take a little more than just one team. Dylan able to escape right here. And we saw Help kind of posturing on top of that res beacon, looking like they might fight. But now they're going to end up fighting against Shogunette.
Yeah, so a little bit of poke here, wanting to get up on the high ground before they engage. Willamander, nice wall, stopping the Shiv. Shiv looking for the RB through the wall, not quite connecting. Iberico looking for the entry here. Looks like Help playing a little backward. Nice, able to recover. Pisces Paladin sacrificing the ult to keep them healthy, but they are going to have plenty of space, knowing like good patience here from Help, not like kind of over committing, knowing they want to play north and not get thirded as multiple squads kind of lurk to the right and south.
I'm proud of Help for developing like the end game macro, it feels like, in this series. I'm sure they've been working on it, but realizing we can't fight here, we're going to get third party, let's rotate around. Very, very smart play. And Shoga dropping a nuke on the high ground, knowing that somebody's up there or probably up there, is really, really smart by them. And check this out. They get another red power.
Dude.
Oh, no.
This is looking scary for these other teams in the lobby. And this is kind of the snowball we were talking about at the beginning, guys. We now have 4 exotic relics on the side of Shogunate here. So only 2 non-exotic relics.
And they have, I think, 6 total red perks or exotic perks. So they hit hard, but they're not the only team that hits hard. They definitely hit the hardest. But check this out. BBL's not looking too bad right now. The big difference maker are going to be those Dragon Breath rounds, because all these golds that everybody seems to have acquired doesn't mean much.
Absolutely. And we do see Dreadstar on Fluffyon, and Luna also just showed us that GPS's Dumpkiss on the Wukong also rocking a Soul Stealer. So we do have multiple other exotics still in play on other teams, but what, at this point, 6 exotic relics in the lobby in play here, and you mentioned perks to back that up as well. So Help still the north, looking against Squaw here, or Squaw looking for the engage actually, as Help trading some cooldowns to kind of keep space. Motek maybe a little bit of overcommit. Pisces following up with the ulti is going to go wide there. Nice sidesteps for the side of Squaw, continuing to just kind of posture here, forcing Help out of their space.
And I like how everybody handled that situation of like move in, move out, move in, move out, and realized nobody wanted to fully commit because both teams are in such a rough spot overall in this lobby that they really tiptoed inside of each other's range. And check this out. Once again, we're beating the allegations as Shogunate checks the brush, dives in onto Zoe. Zoe eating the brunt of that fuselage. 1 goes down, 2 goes down. It's just Monty desperately trying to run away as they have barely scratched the health bars of Shogunate, running into the B-bomb of BBL. Takes another portal out, only to run into Squaw. Monty, where can you go?
Yeah, despite 2 portals through walls, Monty having very little options here, finds a little bit of space to the north. I just want to say Zoe, I think, played that actually pretty dang well. Unfortunate there as Monty does get caught, but they were holding that ledge angle, and I like so close to the dunk coming through for the Oath there. We saw Oath trying to hold that ledge, find the Abyssal Breaker dunk on the 2 members, like, and you have to hit the actual hammer of his ultimate for that to go through. Really close to paying out big and getting the double dunk, but not quite able to connect. It's going to leave them and the other team member in there for Tips Out and Iberico to just cleave with these exotics. But if there was an angle twin to play against this exotic squad, it is playing the dunk like that.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, with the new dunk changes, it doesn't knock as far into the abyss, but it does at least stall them out, so they're stuck trying to mantle, and that's when you have to make your move on them. GPS now finding Squaw with their back to the storms, but GPS realizing they don't quite want the fight for fear of just this. BBL, who comes in, massive dunk, massive third party, but unfortunately for them, a huge dunk from Dumpkus onto Vlad. Vlad goes down, and here is Squaw and Shogunate. We have 4 teams wanting to get in on this party, but look at this. Squaw hurting so bad, and Shogunate hitting so hard, turning their attention towards Schmoogler, getting the damage in, but GPS continuing right there, and huge coming in. Schmoogler narrowly stopped, Tips Out coming in, and look at all that. Your armor is in another castle. Tadopal trying to get the res off from the Orb of Life, and look at this. Shogunate not even scratched.
Going up.
They're doing such a good job playing these third parties too. They find a perfect angle on the right there to force BBC or BBL into kind of everyone else. Really rough fight for them in the mix of that with 2 squads on the left and Shogunate to their south, and GPS in a similar situation as Dumpkiss is going to get found out. Beautiful kind of predict there on the clone, going to find the spike onto Dumpkiss, and GPS is out.
So I want to, there's something I noticed right there. One of Tips Out's perks is the armor regen, because he was the only one that was even hurt a little bit right there with like 1 or 2 notches of his armor gone. And by the time he got to that Wukong, it was back up to max. So not only do they have Dragon Breath rounds and Masamune and gold armors, but if you hurt their gold armors, you have to keep applying the pressure because it's going to regen.
Looks like Yowaiko may be caught here really trying to work this crown angle. 20 seconds left. Definitely has the time to proc this. Just needs a little bit of space to do it. Fluffyon looking to do the same thing on the right as Help looking to defend themselves against this Shogunate onslaught. Big fusillade from Tips Out, putting big damage pressure out. Help actually doing a pretty good job fighting this off despite the power disadvantage, but it is going to put them on the back foot. Now it's just Willamander. Basically no health left, has a dream. Big double stun, gets a shield. It's not going to be enough. Shogunate find another squad wipe. 3 left.
And here comes BBL looking to see if they could do something. Dunk just somehow barely missing everybody. And look at the damage and the inevitable spike onto Fluffyon, who goes down. Tonk out. You're just playing for second. Squall holding the high ground. Vlad goes down as this lone Bebo is running away, but Shogunate smelling blood in the water. They know this is their game to lose.
Yeah, and you can really see it in their movement, the confidence here. They know not only are they kind of feeling themselves on the micro, their power level in this game is insane. Tips Out just always W King on the Shiv, never letting up, despite seeing a whole nother squad besides the Bebo here. Fusilade's out, and just like that, BBL is down. It's just going to be squad left trying to defend the Shogunate onslaught against all this power. Motek up to the top with barely any help. They do trade. Dylan, huge damage on the Krista. Uwaiko following it up. Are they going to get a Berico? If they can get this brawl down, they have a shot, and they do. It's just going to be Sheffo Breco left to double nade. Finds one. Looking for squad. Needs another hit twin. He gets the second. 1v1. Sheffo Breco versus Dylan. It's Squaw versus Shogunate. The ulti Shogunate finds it in the end. Sheffo Breco 1v3 on the Zep. Let's go.
You caught him. You heard him. They're not a machine. They're men. They're humans. And you almost pulled it off, hitting him into the storm, but the damage just wasn't there. And that Zep grenade was perfect to keep Shogunate in the victory lane.